Welcome back to this class. Let's consider types of membrane in chemistry. First, membrane are porous sieves. They can be used to separate between suspension, colloidal dispersion, and true solutions. Common examples of membrane are the filter paper and the cellophane membrane and the parchment membrane. Now, due to this, membrane can be classified into three. So here are the types of membrane. We have non-permeable membrane, which is the filter paper. Then we have the permeable membrane, which is parchment membrane. And finally, we have semi-permeable membrane, which is cellophane membrane. Now, let's consider the filter paper, which is the non-permeable membrane. Now, the filter paper is a special porous paper used in separation technique called filtration. Now, through the filter paper, both crystalloids and colloids can pass through because they are very small enough to pass through the filter paper. This simply means that both true solution and false solution, which is a colloidal dispersion, can pass through filter paper without leaving any residue. But on the other hand, suspension, sediments cannot pass through filter paper because they are too big to pass through the pore of a filter paper. Let's consider the second type of membrane, which is a permeable membrane. Now, this is a parchment membrane. A parchment membrane, which is also known as permeable membrane, it is only a solution that can pass through a parchment membrane. That is, only crystalloids can pass through. Both colloids and sediments cannot pass through a parchment membrane. And the process by which crystalloids pass through a parchment membrane is called dialysis. Hence, dialysis is a process whereby crystalloids in a true solution pass through a membrane. So you have to note that both colloids and sediments, they are too big to pass through the pores of a parchment membrane. So let's consider the last type of membrane, which is the cellophane membrane, which is semi-permeable membrane. Now, this is semi-permeable membrane, which is cellophane membrane. In this type of membrane, it is only the solvent that can pass through, meaning that crystalloids are even too big to pass through a semi-permeable membrane, not to talk of colloids and sediments. So it means it is only the solvent that can pass through a semi-permeable membrane through the process called osmosis. So it means in a sugar solution, the sugar particles cannot even pass through the cellophane membrane. It is only the water that can pass through. Water is the solvent. So this is so crazy. Now, osmosis can be defined as the movement of solvent particle from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. This is very common among the biology. Now, it is common in biology that the process by which plants attract water from the soil is through osmosis. How do I mean? I mean that the water from the soil is reaching the plant through a process called osmosis, because the root air is a semi-permeable membrane, which allows only the water to pass through the xylem tissue, through the xylem vessels. So we believe that with this little explanation, you could understand the difference between the three types of membrane. Thank you.